Hi, my name is Oscar.
I'm Greg.
And I'm Theo.
And our game is Hivemind. It's an action, real-time strategy hybrid where you try and grow an undead army to kill all the humans in a given area. Our inspiration for the game came from games like Gears of War's Horde Mode, where you're the enemies of the game and you're trying to kill the protagonists of the game, and games like Pikmin, where you command a small force of minions to accomplish a goal. For our brainstorming process, we wound up running into an issue where the hybrid nature of our game sort of created a strange way for us to actually control what we wanted. And we wanted to be able to select individual zombies and select groups of zombies. So we thought that a mouse being able to select the zombies would be the best option, and we wound up choosing PC as our platform. And our development methodology wound up being loosely based on Agile, and we worked individually on loosely based timelines for ourselves at first, but towards the end of our development, we wound up shifting a little bit more towards peer programming and sharing a lot of the development.
So now to talk a little bit more about our individual roles and contribution. My main contributions were flocking, undead navigation in general of the minions, player control of those undead minions, and optimization of various performance issues that we encountered during development.
My main contribution was getting the character models, animations, as well as the finite state machine, all kind of integrated together, getting that functional so that it could be tied in with more advanced mechanics like the flocking.
And my contributions were terrain development and environment design, RTS-style selection, UI elements such as mini-maps and health bars, audio and sound effects, and menu management.
So we ended up using Unity as our platform and C# via Mono. And this had some obvious benefits to us. You know, we have a lot of free assets to choose from because it's the most popular engine for independent developers. So we had a lot of free assets. We wouldn't have to design a lot of artwork ourselves. And then additionally, because it's using Mono, it's cross-platform. So some of us use Mac, some of us use PC, and we had no development issues between that. It was very seamless because of the cross-platform nature of Unity. To talk a little bit more about the structure of the game is really centered around, there are undead game entities, and there are human game entities, and there's player entities, or the player as an entity. And the game really is a series of interactions between these. The zombies or skeletons see humans, try to attack them. Human soldiers see zombies, try to attack them. Civilians see zombies and run from them. The player commands zombies and they obey the order. The player orders them to follow the player, and then they follow the player. And then we have sort of abstracted scripts to generalize those interactions so that we don't have to refer to specific types. We have more generalized interactions, so if we wanted to add more types in the future, we would be able to do so easily. And then the way that we really brought AI into this structure and implemented AI was through flocking, as I briefly mentioned earlier. Flocking was very crucial for this kind of game. If the zombies just walked in a straight line, they would die very easily. There wouldn't be fun battles. It wouldn't be like the fighting mechanics really wouldn't work very well. And we tried a couple different strategies, like zombies following leaders, minimizing distance from the center of a group, and ultimately we ended up adjusting their speed dynamically based on their distance from the target they're going to relative to the average distance of their group. And this worked really well. It had some performance issues, but ultimately we were able to overcome those and got flocking working.
For our source control management, we originally started using Git. However, we ran into a problem where Git has a file size limit. So we decided to switch over into the built-in Unity Colab. However, we also encountered a problem with space limits there. We ran out of space. So we ultimately ended up using Google Drive, in a system where we would zip our game as a whole, upload it to the drive. Never ended up being more than 1.5 gigs. And if we needed just to incremental changes, we would just zip small amounts, small assets, which could then just be patched in after we had a full version. And this worked fairly well. For our play testing, we mainly set the play testers down and didn't give them much instruction to begin with, but we would answer any of their questions. For their time, complete playthrough, they would take 5 to 10 minutes to get through on a successful run. One of the biggest issues we encountered with every playtester was they always asked what our controls were. So to mitigate that, we added the controls to the game window, as well as rearranging other UI elements, as that was another issue. They didn't notice the mini-map or the health bar very well. We also got a lot of feedback on difficulty. Some people found it easy, some found it hard, some found it kind of just right. We ended up tweaking with it a lot and found ourselves satisfied by adding 3 difficulty levels, an easy, medium, and a hard, for players to pick themselves. And lastly, players had a hard time differentiating between civilians and soldiers. To fix that, the civilians have a yellow health bar and the soldiers have a red health bar. And now we will show you a demo.
So one of the first core mechanics of our game is to be able to select individual units. So in this screen grab, we are selecting half of our units and sending them to one side of the bridge. And we're going to take the other half of our units and we're going to take them across this second bridge and go and build up our army by attacking some civilians. So once we've sent the skeletons over to the civilians will automatically find out that there is a civilian near them and start attacking. And once they are dead, we can revive them and make them into more skeletons, which we can use to attack the soldiers over here. So now that we've built up our army a bit, we're going to actually use this army to take down some soldiers that will fight back. And now we've used both of our groups to converge on the soldiers and create some new zombies for our army. So in this scene, we have a group of soldiers that are patrolling under this bridge, which is to hint to us that there is a more optimal path. In the naive approach to this game, you might think that you have to attack this large mass of soldiers that is near the top of the screen. And if you instead go beneath the bridge, you can reach this group of unguarded civilians and build up your army in order to take them down. On the easy mode, you may be able to overcome this group of soldiers, but on the medium and hard modes, it's nearly impossible to actually defeat them unless you find a different solution. So now that we've built up our army a little bit more, we're going to use these minions to go ahead and kill these soldiers. So now we've selected all of our units and we are once again going to use the two-pronged attack in order to take out these soldiers. Now in this final clip, we are now controlling 233 zombies and we are going to use them in order to take out the last of the soldiers on the map.